Broads Media.
When is this going to end? When is this bad baseball going to end? It's a great question, Broads. Thank you very much. Hey, look, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button as well. I greatly appreciate all your love and support. You can take me on the road with you. Hit the Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, or all your podcasting platforms. Search Sports Talk with Broads. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. That goes such a long way. I can't thank you all enough. And lastly, if you're interested in more Broads media content, every Monday and Thursday at 11 a.m., we have Coffee with Broads live streams right here on YouTube. And the way that you get access to that is by joining the membership here for $4.99 a month. All the information is in the description down below. You also get the Discord link, and we get to chat. We talk during the games as well. So if you're interested, I appreciate you. Thank you all so much, and enjoy the show. No. No, you can't be serious. The fuck was that? It's 1 a.m. You had me staying up till 1 a.m. for that? 6th inning, 7th inning, 8th inning. Leadoff men on. You do nothing with it. JT Realmuto, leadoff double, gets thrown out, running to third base with the baseball going to the left side of the infield. Alec Bowman, extra innings on an 0-2 count. Dribbler. Just a little dribbler. That goes essentially nowhere after Cody Clemens does his job and gets the runner from second base to third. A ghost runner. Goose egg. After Hoffman's electric 9th inning, when you thought you were in trouble, he gets out of the jam. And the worst part of it all, Spencer Howard goes 4 innings of scoreless ball. Spencer Howard blows! He blows! What the hell did he do? Was he special? Did you watch Spencer Howard today and go, wow! That guy is insane! Or did you say, this offense is pissing me off because there are hittable pitches and there are opportunities and they're just doing nothing with it? Because it's the latter, damn it. It's the latter. You just lost a game when it was bullpen versus Zach Wheeler, who goes 6 scoreless. They didn't even give up an earned run and lost the game 1-0. They are pressing. The only guy that showed up, to me, was Edmundo Sosa with a couple of hits. That was extremely noticeable. The other thing that was extremely noticeable was how frustrated Brandon Marsh was. I mean, that guy looked pissed more than I've ever seen in my life. I swear to God. Every time I saw him, he's throwing his helmet, he's throwing his bat, he's swinging and missing. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's annoying to get rung up and to strike out with Spencer Howard on the mound because, as I alluded to it, he sucks. But why don't you just, I don't know, square it up then, Brandon? This team is ridiculous right now. They couldn't do anything right. Rojas is getting caught trying to steal second base. I thought that was money every day of the week. I thought that was nonchalant. Go from first to second, now you're in scoring position. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Because whenever you do have someone in scoring position, well, you're popping up anyway to end the inning. You're striking out. The other team's going to intentionally walk Kyle Schwarber to get to JT Realmuto, and he will fail. It doesn't matter who it is. Whoever it is going to fail. Unless, I guess I'll say, Edmundo Sosa is still trying to give this team as much life as humanly possible. Not perfect. Not perfect by any means, but I do think that his role should be noticed. That's all. This team just lost 3 straight games. San Francisco is an absolute nightmare. Get me the fuck City now. I don't even want to play this third game. Afternoon game Wednesday, about 4 o'clock here on the East Coast, 3:45. I mean, I just sat through this garbage. What makes me think I want to hit the sheets after I'm done recording this, wake up, and do it all over again? Not an Oracle. Get me out of there! You understood that they would cool down. Cool down is an understatement. They can't do anything against bad pitching. So am I supposed to sit here and just pretend like I'm satisfied because of their 37 wins out of 51? Because if you can't notice, I have a very difficult time trying to do it. Now, my mentions on Twitter, and you can follow me on Twitter at Broads81 if you choose to do so, is going a little extreme coming from me. So, if I'm saying it's extreme, this team's a failure, this team is a bunch of losers, here we go again, they're the same exact team as they are last year. Well, guess what? Last year, they were a team that I thought could beat the Rangers, and I stand by that. So that means to me, they're a team that can compete for a World Series. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad thing to be a same team as last year because I thought they were one of the best last two teams available. When there were 4 teams left, they did fail against the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NLCS, but between the NL and the AL, the best 2 teams, Texas Rangers of the AL, Phillies in the National League. So it's not a bad thing to be the team of last year. As crazy as that is to say. Because I thought they could take down the Rangers if they got a chance to play them in a 7-game series. But yeah, I mean, this is how it goes. This isn't anything different than what any other club goes through, though. Just to put it back in perspective. The Dodgers were running through a 4 or 5-game losing streak. I looked it up. They scored 1 run against Cincinnati, 1 run against Cincinnati, shut out previously before that. It's the Dodgers lineup. On paper, there ain't much sexier than the Dodgers lineup on paper. So this stuff happens. So with the big picture approach, making it seem like you don't want to go to war with this team, that's different. Being mad right now because I expect them and demand them to be better, that's my view. Big picture, I'm going to war with them. Because they can go toe-to-toe with the best. But when they struggle, it's a hard watch. But I'm not jumping to a crazy conclusion. I just want to make sure that we keep it in context here. All right? Get mad for the now. Get mad that you let Spencer Howard rip you apart. Mr. Peanut Butter and Jelly, dude. What a joke. The guy that would run to first base in an inning, because at the time there was no DH in the National League. So this guy is in the batter's box. He has to run the first base and then complains that that's why his fastball goes from 95 miles per hour to 90 miles per hour the next inning. Because he ran a couple of feet. Okay. That guy just crushed you. Looked like the same Spencer Howard to me. If he had a Phillies uniform on, probably would have went, 3 innings, 7 earned runs? Well, not necessarily, because there probably would have been some sort of ugly error defensively. So 7 runs might have scored 5 earned runs. It was nice in the early stages to see Cody Clemens play third base and actually make some spectacular glove plays over there, flashing the leather after what we saw from Alec Boehm over the recent stretch. But then there was the one play that, it was tough, don't get me wrong, but he pulled Bryce Harper off the bag. And if that is right on the money, then you're not pulling Bryce Harper off the bag, and you're making an exceptional play, and you're getting a big monster out. But that's not where you lost the game, obviously, because in case you forgot, it was 0-0 heading into the final inning, into the extra innings when you had a base runner on second. You got him over to third base. You got one of your best guys in the dish who knows how to knock in runners. All right, not too long ago, this man was leading the entire league in runs batted in, and on an 0-2 count, my man does what? He did, huh? And then, JT. All right, as much as I'm angry with Alec Boehm because it looks like he's pouting right now. After those comments of sometimes you suck, sometimes you have a bad game, what are you going to do? Well, I saw his face in the dugout. I saw his face at the time of that media availability, and I watched him in this game, and I'm not loving the vibe. All right, I'm going with the vibe right now. I'm getting a little bit of that. Whatever that vibe of Alec Boehm was when he wasn't happy with this place, it's starting to pop up right now. Now, all it takes for it to go away is a 3-hit day or a 3-run RBI or maybe 2 hits and 2 RBI. Just a good Alec Boehm performance that we've seen a lot this season. That's all it will take. But if the next game, it's a ball that goes underneath of his legs, he's not getting in front of the ball and sliding his body, moving his feet. He tries to get his glove hand on it on the side of his body, and then the ball goes to the outfield, and it continues. Then it's like, come on, man. But if you're Rob Thompson and you end up making decisions with certain people, but here's Nick Castellanos with the 500 OPS. I mean, dude, guy plays all day. And I know I said that some guys you just got to keep trotting them out there compared to maybe a Trey Turner like we've seen when he was going through it in the early stages of his Phillies tenure. And I do stand by that. I do. But, every game. I don't really know what the alternative would be. So I stand by that as well. But I don't know. I mean, I guess my question is, moving forward, let's say I agree with Rob Thompson and his decision-making on how he handled Nick Castellanos to this point. Let's put that aside. Moving forward, when is enough enough? When do you have to do something? Or do you stay with this the whole way? Because guess what? Boehm didn't play today, right? And sometimes I always do wonder when someone doesn't play and they say it's scheduled and they say, yeah, he played a lot of ball. He's been on his feet a lot. Well, what's really happening behind closed doors, right? Because it wasn't too long ago that they said the same thing about Rojas, and it was right after Rojas was making some bad mistakes. Oh, yeah, the rotation out in the outfield and center field just so happened to fall on the day after Rojas was an abomination. I don't know if Rob is trying to handle Alec Boehm with a little bit of toughness or not. Maybe that's why I feel the body language is off, because maybe there's something going on between those two. Boehm doesn't agree with it. Rob's trying to set the tone. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but that's all I can do when I see the physical body language of Alec Boehm currently. But let's get back to the Nick thing. Boehm's not in the game, so Nick is your right-handed bat trying to protect Bryce Harper, and it's just not the same. So when Nick Castellanos struggles again and barely does anything and isn't a threat, at what point now moving forward do we have to wonder, is it time to do something? I don't know what it would be, and I don't think you have a lot of options, but at some point, dude, you got to be held responsible and accountable for playing this bad. And it's a long leash, all right? So at some point, it's warranted, dude. And if he can't handle that, then shame on him. That's a him problem, not a Rob problem, not a Dave Dombrowski problem, not a Phillies problem. That's a Nick Castellanos problem. Dude, okay, you want to see the difference between why I'm able to handle a Kyle Schwarber 198 batting average when my man sniffs 37 home runs at the time? Think about the difference with this, okay? Under 200 batting average. What does this guy do? What does he do? So annoying. It truly is. All right, let's run to some anytime hotline calls. All right, Let's hear from the people who took the time to call in this early in the morning, if you will. Good thing my sleep schedule is still all out of whack because I feel all right right now. Even though I'm getting a little tired, feeling better than I normally would if I was on a normal person's schedule. Why is that muted? Don't know why. Oh, it's because I was doing a Bleacher Report thing earlier. Apologies. Let's run to the phones.
Bros, I'm a religious follower of you, but the last year or two, I'm telling you, I'm negative. I went to Washington, I went to Miami last year. Castellanos, he's absolute garbage. He's trash. He used to play my messages. I recurse. Trade him last year. Now he's untradeable. I'm so fucking frustrated. There's this guy and Taiwan Walker ruins my Phillies addiction. I love this fucking team. But those two fucking frauds piss me off, and we gotta fucking dump them or play someone else.
I'm more aggravated with Nick Castellanos than I am Taiwan Walker. And the whole untradeable thing, it seems like he brought up the fact that he's untradeable. You weren't trading him last year. And believe it or not, there was actually a time where... Sorry, I'm just grabbing my phone right now because I want to pull up the numbers. But, first off, they were never... Last year, it made no sense to trade Nick Castellanos. I'm just saying. I mean, the team was right there. Once again, in my eyes, the best team in the National League, one of the two best teams in all of baseball. They came up short, but Nick Castellanos was a part of that product. It wasn't as bad as it was this season, last season, even though it wasn't great. He was an all-star who hit .272, had 106 runs batted in, and one shy of 30 home runs. So 29 home runs, 106 runs batted in, and a .272 batting average. When the team was what they were last year, it made no sense to trade Nick Castellanos. But it's interesting that you bring those two names up because on WIP today, there was a Twitter poll on the afternoon show, and it was, who are you more worried about, Castellanos or Taiwan Walker? And at the time of the Twitter poll, Taiwan Walker was leading the way, but I thought that was so irrational, and I want to see the updated votes. Yeah, right now it's still the same exact thing. Taiwan Walker leading the way at 53%. So 53% of almost 1,800 voters are more worried about their fifth starter than one of the biggest right-handed bats in all of their lineup. Walker's a fifth starter. I mean, that's essentially useless. Walker could be irrelevant in the playoffs and it not be crucial to your wins or losses with the way Wheeler, Nola, and Ranger need to go for you to have success. If Castellanos is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts every day compared to the alternative, which is him being serviceable, that could change the result of your team, right? And yeah, in theory, a fourth starter like Walker could add value for you and all, but I mean, I don't even think it's close. I really don't. What Nick Castellanos can provide for this team at the highest clip is way more than what Taiwan Walker can contribute to this team at the highest clip because you already have Nola, Wheeler, Ranger. You can't have too many at-bats. And I know you can't have too many starting pitchers either, but in a playoff series, Wheeler, Nola, Ranger are the dogs. It's different when looking at how deep a batting order can be. So, and I want to go back to one of the playoff series, though, with Nick Castellanos, because his postseason last year, it ended bad. Oh, it sure ended bad. But where was it with the 2023 NLDS? Here it is. 2023 NLDS. He had 5 homers in that series. Oh, no, wait. Did some of that bleed into the CS? Game 3 of the DS, 2 homers, 2 RBI. Game 4 of the NLDS, 2 homers, 3 hits, 2 RBI, and a walk. Game 1 of the NLCS, home run. Game 2 in the NLCS, 1 RBI and a walk. Things dipped off after that. In the wild card round, 2 doubles in Game 1. In Game 2, scored a run. So I'm just saying the whole we should have traded him last year thing. I feel like he playing this role. You know, it's like I share my frustration. I'm super bothered, and I tell people it's okay to get angry, and it is. But then it just seems to like go one step too far. One step too far. Yesterday, I took a call about Taijuan Walker, and once again, they said, you never win when he's in. He allows 8 runs every time. You can never win when he's on the mound. I'm like, I know it doesn't make sense, but that's wrong, you know? And same with this. You should have traded him last year. When he's going on 3-4 games in a row to close out the NLDS, to start the NLCS, guys smoking home runs left and right, and he had 100-plus runs batted in with a 272 batting average last year and essentially 30 home runs. I mean, that would make no sense to trade him last year. So I'm all on board on not accepting this, saying you have to perform better. But we go one step too far, if that makes sense. I hope you guys see it the same way I do. All right, let's take the next call.
Bros, I never called about after the Rangers series, but I'm very thankful that we swept Texas, because as soon as I saw Coors and Oracle on the schedule back-to-back, I got a little nervous, and, my fears were justified. Today, Game 2, was the most embarrassing Phillies loss I've actually seen in quite some time. I mean, the offense has no excuse to be this bad against Spencer Howard. And the whole Alec Bohm thing, he was terrible yesterday. He should have played today. I get giving him some rest, but when Nick Castellanos is shoved in the lineup every day, when the outside slider is as big of a flaw for him as a player as Ben Simmons not being able to shoot. Like, he just keeps getting forced down our throats. And, I'm a defender of Nick Castellanos. I can't defend this, but he's part of this team. But right now, he's being shoved down the throats. And Spencer Howard, come on. Really? You can't afford to get swept tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be good. No, that would not be good. And no, I think that's fair and rational. I'm with you, right? It's so brutal to see it. Now, the one part I'll disagree with is Ben Simmons not shooting a basketball is still significantly worse than Nick Castellanos. As bad as Nick is, and this is not to defend Nick, this is just to let you know how pathetic Ben Simmons is as a human, to the point where he made up mental health just so he can still get paid money through the CBA with a technicality, and all the progress that we made as society to understand the importance of mental health, as we just saw recently in the sports world, a golfer take his own life. It's important, and he's making a mockery of it just to get cash. I just went super deep. And it probably didn't need to get that deep, but it does, because it's that serious of a topic, and yet he just pretends it's not a big deal just to make money. It was bad. So I can't put Nick on that level for struggling with a slider. It's bad, though. It's bad. I could probably throw one and get him swinging. I could probably throw one and see if he feels obligated to take a hack to try and smoke one. Spencer Howard sucks. He sucks. Spencer Howard blows. Where's the extra base hits? Now, it's interesting. If you're going to constantly put Nick out there, does it make sense to put Bohm out there? I guess it does. Yeah, that would be contradicting. If you're Rob Thompson, yes, I think you make a great point there. If Nick plays no matter what, then why is Bohm out? Unless it really was, hey, a little tired, let a day off of his feet, or there's more to it behind the scenes, but that would be very hypocritical, because that means Rojas gets benched, that means Bohm gets benched, that means everybody sees all these other people, the whole entire clubhouse, see everyone get benched, but then Nick could do whatever he wants in the world and still play, which is just so bizarre, it's a shame they ruined Kerkering in the 7th inning with some nasty stuff. Excuse me. I mentioned that Hoffman ninth where you thought the game was going to be walked off there, but he gets out of it, does a little hop, skip, and a dance on his way back to the dugout. So that was super fun. You know, your bullpen did its thing, man. They didn't allow an earned run. The only run the other team scores is on a freaking ghost runner on second. And why do the Phillies struggle so much? I had somebody reach out to me and say, come on, man, you got to bunt them over. Did you watch the game? If your takeaway was, I can't believe they didn't bunt him over, unless they're referencing a different part of the game, but that tweet came in when the game was over and it was the 10th inning, so I don't know why they would reference something earlier. But whatever, I don't know, when JT doubled and led the inning off with a double, and he ended up running himself out at third base anyway. Was he talking about then? I don't know, but that would be silly. No outs, man on second base, JT on second with the meat and potatoes of your lineup up. Nah, dude, I'll take my swing on it. What we can't have is running into stupid outs. That's what killed the inning. You could have had one out with someone grounding out to first base, or to shortstop it was, and a throw over to first base, and you would have had one out with JT still on second. But they got the guy over to third. Cody Clemens got the guy over to third base. You just failed miserably after that. JT failed miserably after that. Alec Boehm failed miserably after that. And that's where things went wrong. But I'm just saying, I would pay $1 million to see an extra base hit. Cash. Please. All right, everybody. Those are my thoughts. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I'll catch you all on the next one.